All right, here we are. How we doing? We are live. There's a few of you here, so welcome. Thanks for coming to hang out. I'm always amazed that people actually want to come and hang out, and I'm very grateful. How are we all doing? Let me know who's there. Let me just put the recording live light on. There you go. Pretty snazzy, eh? I got sent that by the YouTube for just for being a cool guy. So that's cool, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. What we're gonna do today? Something just made a noise. What was that? Hey Jim, welcome. Cheers, Jim. It's good to know that there's someone actually there, even though it says there's people. It's nice to know that there's a human there. How we doing, Jim? My phone's pinging away. Put you on silent. I just wanna be here with my gang. Chop SPDS, hello. Welcome. Kevin, hi. Pin, cheers. Nice to see everyone. I really appreciate you coming to hang out. What are we gonna do? Hey Dan. What are we going to do today? I've got a few questions from the Patreon. There's a few I didn't do last week, and there's some new ones. So I'm going to aim to answer them all. And feel free to ask me anything. Chicago, checking in. Hey, Matthew. Tea, raspberry liqueur, and vodka. Hey, very nice. Very good. It's cocktail time. I'm not going to lie, I've been waiting for this all day. Had a big weekend. So I'm ready for a little wind down. I think last time I had no sleep. Was that last time? Hey, Gretsch Zeppelin. So yeah, I've got a few questions I'm going to go through. I'm going to muck about with my looper pedal a bit to answer some of those questions. I'm also going to do a contest to win. Jim won last time. He won the Rumble poster. This week you can win one of these prints, X-Ray Cat Trio, and that is by DEATHRAY, who is a legendary artist in the UK, in Hastings, and I'm honoured that I can call him a friend now. I've been round to his house for a cup of tea. He's an absolute legend. I remember when I first started getting into rockabilly, psychobilly, he was doing all the artwork for, he's done stuff for Reverend Hut and Heat, he's done stuff for the Stray Cats, Viva Las Vegas. He's the guy. And when I got him to do an X-Ray Cat t-shirt, I was very, very pleased about that. So yeah, you can win that. I'm gonna do a little contest in a bit. So far, all the contest questions have been to do with what am I doing, what am I up to. And it seems a bit, what do you call it? Me. But I can't really think of any other questions to do because everyone can just Google stuff, right? And that's no fun. So if anyone's got an idea of how I could do some questions that aren't all about me, I don't know. Maybe that's just what I got to do. Hello, Maddie. Grab your tea. Madeline. I called you Maddie. I don't know if that's okay. Alex. I am live. Yes, welcome. You are here. Peter Quiff. Hello. Nice to hear from you. It's been a while. DEATHRAY's art is awesome indeed. Gretsch Zeppelin has a 2012 print. Very cool. And also, they say don't meet your heroes, but he was absolutely lovely when I went to go meet him. And when you deal with someone with emails, you can tell they're a good person or not. Well, you can't always actually. So when you go meet him, it's great. I am called Maddie. Okay, that's good. I knew that. Yeah, Peter. So I met Peter in. I can't remember the name of the town. I remember the name of the venue though, Cafe to Hoff. Not Middelburg. Is it But yeah, that bar is is amazing. Is it still going? Dan's here as well from Portland, Maine, celebrating your birthday. Happy birthday, my friend. Cheers to Dan. Happy birthday. What better way to spend your birthday than with the DEATHRAY Cat Gang? So, what was I blathering on about? I was going to answer some questions. Okay, let's start with an easy one. Middleburg it is, that's right. If you're ever in Middleburg, passing through that part of town. In fact, Maddie, there's a place to go and take your band. So you were asking me about where's cool to play. There's a place called Café to Huff in Middleburg, and it's an amazing place. You might have been there already, but the owner, Hayo, is a very lovely man, and he really looks after the bands. He'll pay you, you'll get somewhere to stay, you'll get an amazing dinner because the food there is amazing. I got steak frite because of course. So there's one for you. Café to Huff, yeah. And I think he's done a lot of stuff with Voodoo Rhythm. So like he loves all that stuff. Reverend Beatman, stuff like that. So I would start there. That's great. Look at us all coming together. If anyone else can think of some cool places to play in Europe or the UK, there it is. Peter's written down the name. Okay, so let's start with an easy question. Olivier says, any chance of playing France? Well, I would love to, but I find it quite hard to play in France. I've always wanted to. I'm half French. My dad is French, so I don't know. I love being in France. I can speak fairly well, not amazingly. So I'd love to play in France, but I've always found it difficult to get gigs there. So again, if anyone's got any ideas, let us know. We can help each other out. That was a nice, easy question. And seeing as we're talking to Maddie now, she asked, what's the most uplifting experience in a gig, or any cool stories or funny stories from gigs? I mean, I find when you're playing to lots of people, I find that's probably the best. It's not always the best, but I was with a band called Black Moth, and we played Leeds and Reading Festival, and we played Download Festival. They were kind of like a heavy like doomy sort of band, and it was a lot of fun. I was playing a lot of different, very different style of guitar. Well, not that different really, because it was kind of based in blues. But yeah, we played Download and Reading and Leeds festivals and some bigger venues around Europe. And I just remember, yeah, Reading and Leeds being crazy, just loads of people under a tent. It might have been raining, which helped probably. But yeah, whenever there's loads of people. But we all know not every gig is going to be like thousands of people. In fact, it's happened to me, like I can count on my hand how many times that's happened. Like if you play at festival, that's great. A lot of gigs that I've played have been very quiet, or if they've been at a festival, say like Boomtown or something, maybe it's not been super busy for us. But that's why I used to really enjoy touring around Europe, places like Café de Hof. I don't know, it's just like everyone in the room's just bouncing away and loving it. It's not really answering your question, is it? I should have thought better. I should have thought more about it. Like I say, I've had a big weekend. My brain's kind of fried, but I'm going to do my very best. Sonic Ballroom, Cologne. I've heard of that one. I've got a friend from Cologne. Super Molly. We've played in Super Molly in Berlin. Nordstraat, Braut, Hanover. There you go. Very cool. Chops SPDS. Hey DEATHRAY, I'm in a band that's playing a Narca Folk Punk Fest in Wales in August. Looking to book a show on August 14th and 15th in London or Birmingham. A narco folk band. Okay, so I know a couple of people who enjoy that sort of thing. In fact, my label guy, Property of the Lost, he might be interested in that. I know. Also, have you tried the Muddy Roots festivals? They're based in America, but there's one in Europe. There's one in Belgium. I think it's called like Whiskey in the Jar or Under the Jar or something like that. But if you look up Muddy Roots, there's one just started in the UK that's run by a guy. Again, I've forgotten his name, but if you look out for the Muddy Roots stuff, and Carl at Property of Lost, if you Google them, you might have some luck. I don't know. Alex McAllister, what's your gear rundown for clubs? So it depends. Depends on the band. If I'm jumping in a friend's car or something or something like that, and there's not much space, I'll take a little pedal board like this. Depends what kind of music you're playing, but for me, if I've got my slapback, I'm a tremolo and a tuner, that's probably enough. Maybe some kind of overdrive or boost. I've got the fuzz there, but I don't use it that much live because I use it more for recording. That's just me. I'm yet to find a fuzz that I really enjoy using live. Maybe I need to do some more research. Hello from the Mojave Desert, Southwest. Nice, home of Tapitio and Chulua. Yes, Lee. Cheers. Hey Paul, welcome. West Coast of Canada, too far to travel for a gig? Not necessarily. I mean, it's a long way to go. I think traveling nowadays is getting harder for musicians and for anyone. I mean, I don't know. You don't know what to believe when you read, but I feel like it might be getting more difficult to travel as a musician. Roots in the Jar, Peter, thank you. That is the Belgian version of Muddy Roots, if I'm not mistaken. And I think there was like another splinter group or they did the Cowboy Up. Cowboy Up is a bar in Belgium. I think they do that sort of thing. Any chance we'll get another Nico Adrian White video, maybe with Jeff? That'd be cool, actually. That'd be nice. It's been a while since I've heard from Adrian. I know he's been real busy with his he's got a music school that he's been working on, but he's always been great. He's always been really cool with me and welcoming in the YouTube world. Humble Baritonics, hello, welcome. I've got an answer to one of your questions, which maybe we'll look at next. Any chance of streaming a song or two from Easter Sunday Rave Up? I'd love that to happen. I'm not sure how I could do that. If I maybe if I just wander around with my phone and go live every now and again, I can capture some of the bands. Maybe I'll try that. It did cross my mind. So yeah, I'll think about how we can do that. I've got a few people who said they're up for helping me out, because obviously I'm running the event, but also I'm playing it. So hopefully some pals will be able to help me with some of that stuff. Okay, Humble Barytronics. On the DEATHRAY Cat Patreon, you asked me a very good question. You were asking if you're enjoying your boogie woogie, and if there's any riffs to play on the treble strings. So I'm guessing you're asking this because you're baritone guitar is tuned to the same strings as the higher string, the 4 higher strings on a guitar. Is that correct? So that got me thinking about what can you play on the top 4 strings. You might have been relating it to double stops as well. I'm not sure, but I think we can work on that. Oh, got some mega tremolo going on there. There we go. So the first thing that came to my mind was, not sure if you'd call it boogie woogie. Like, yeah, okay, I've got the tuning right. So boogie woogie, the first thing that comes to mind, being a English boy, is Jules Holland on his piano, ding a ding a ding a ding a ding a ding a ding, that sort of thing. So I'm playing down here, obviously, but is there something we can do up here? So I would do something like this. So we're just playing 2 strings at a time there, and I'm grabbing a couple of notes out of the... I don't know why I've gone for G. I've gone for G for now. Let's move that to E because it's a bit easier, actually. So, because we can use the open strings. So, when you play an E major chord, the top 4 strings are like that. But what I'm saying is, for you, with your 4 strings, you'd only need to use the middle 2. Hey, this is the first time I've done a live direct lesson. So you can play this on a normal guitar, a standard tuning guitar as well. It doesn't have to be a baritone. Built for speedish, yes, exactly. So what I'm doing there is I've got first finger down on the G, and I've got the B string ringing, and then I'm going to play on the 2nd frets of the G and the B, and then I'm going to go up to the 3rd fret on the B, 4th fret on the G. And I guess if you're doing a boogie woogie thing, like what was I doing before? That sort of thing. How does that work? And then, so yeah, it's very much like the Built for Speed riff. So you would move that up to the A if you're doing a 12-bar blues, which you probably will be. So same idea, you'd go 5, 6, 7, 7, 8 and 9, and back down. You can do a little hammer on there like Built for Speed. Back to E. Then you can go up to your, what have we got next? It's going to be a B. You might go to the A, I don't know. I would try something like that. Ha, us ancients think Pete Johnson, Albert Ammons, Mead, Lux, Lewis. So yeah, I got to do some homework there, haven't I, chaps? So, excuse me, that's one thing you could do. The other thing I was thinking, there's a Gene Vincent tune called, I've written it down, Cruising. I'm not sure you call that boogie woogie, but you could change the rhythm a bit, I guess. So right? So I know I finished up playing all the strings, but in those, again, we're kind of using the shape of the E-shaped bar chord. I'm in G here. So what I would do, I would slide up to the third and fourth frets on B and G, and then you've got that root, which is on the D string. So I'll play it slow. You're playing that major triad, really, if you know about triads. And then you slide it into it. And you divide in the two top strings and the root note. When it's like a blues progression, and then it goes up to the C, but instead of like doing the major thing up here, which would totally work, we kind of got a thing where we're going for it's almost like we're playing the minor chord in G, but it's moved up to C, so it's some kind of like flat 7, I don't know, I'm not a doctor. But all you need to know is, instead of doing that step shape there, which makes that major triad, we're gonna flatten your first finger, so you're sliding into the third frets there. It's almost like you're playing a G minor triad on those strings. So there's your major, and then you flatten the third to make the minor. So you play that in G. When it goes up to C, back to G. And then when we go to the D, we do the same again, but move everything up 2 frets, and we're doing that minor shape again. I hope that makes sense. Let me just play it with some stuff going on below it. So I'll play. 2, 3, 4. Just do it dead simple. C, G, D, G. See what I mean? And then it does all that. Oh no. Which, we're playing in G here, right? It's a G major. That's one of those classic rockabilly licks there. 3, 2, 0 on your top E. You're pulling it off. It's a double pull off. Pull off from 3 to 2. Pull off from 2 to open. And do the same on the G. On the B. And then that works in the E minor stuff, but also the G major. Anyway, yeah, exactly. Cliff Gallup. That's what we're looking at. But yeah, I hope that helps. Humbled by Richonics. Oh, there was one more. There's a guy. Has anyone heard of a guy called Paul Pigat? He's got a band called Cousin Harley, and I was hearing a lot about him, like, I don't know, 20 odd years ago. I think I'm not sure where he's from, but he's done some stuff with Gretsch, and I think he's got some videos online teaching. Now he does a cool like. So like he's got that kind of vibe going on, and then lead wise, again this is all up on those strings there. Canadian, that's right, yeah. So this is in E minor now, or a major. Yeah, maybe it's major, but same idea. So like, instead of like taking a lick there, because that's that's all based around the E major there. So if anyone's into their caged systems, you've probably heard people on YouTube talking about cage system. A very basic first step of that is to realise when you play an E major chord down here, you can also play a D shape. So if you take a D, but just move it up 2 frets, that is playing the notes out of an E major chord. So there's only 3 notes in a major chord. There's the root, the third, and the fifth. I'm skipping ahead here. But when you're playing a cowboy chord like that, you're only ever hearing 3 notes repeated. So for example, E major, you've got E, B, and then another E. Why don't I know what that is right now? A flat or G sharp. B and E. So E, B, E. Oh my gosh. A flat, G sharp, B and E. Up here, what have we got? We've got a B, a D, and a C sharp. Hang on a minute. What have I done wrong, guys? Oh yeah, G sharp, not C sharp. Oh gosh, I'm getting too far ahead of myself. All you need to know is all those chords are the same. All those notes. There's only 3 of them. So you got an E there and a D there. My point is, right, that riff is made out of that chord shape. It's based around it. It goes back and forth around it. So we start up there on the E and the B strings, and we come back 2 frets. And we go back up to where we started, and back and forth. So slowly. There we go. I think there's a little moment where you play your open strings just for a little bit of something. That works over the E. Okay, that should work on your baritone. Then again, instead of like moving that up to the A, which would totally work and would also sound cool, instead of doing that, we're taking that little major third and making it a minor third, well, relative to this, and we're doing a similar thing. So, major. So with the minor kind of shape, we're only going back 1 fret, and I've got my ring finger on the 5th fret of the B and my first finger on the 3rd fret of the E. So hopefully that makes sense. And then we go back. He does some kind of thing that it ascends, and over time I've forgotten what he does. But all in all, it's going to sound something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's quite tricky getting a looper to work, so it's always like a mini victory when it happens. Just gonna have a little pause. We can have that as our backdrop for a minute. So, Nico would happen to know the intro to Carl Perkins' song Dixie Fried. Off the top of my head, I don't know, but it's something we can look at. Oh yeah, delicious. Here we go. Then back to your normal whatever it is you do. So that I did it. Then I'll try again. I think it's 1 fret up. I won't bore you with me trying to play it properly, but yeah, if you search Paul Pigat or Cousin Harley, I'm sure he does it. It might be a lesson, or it might just be him playing it. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, that's what I'd be looking at if I was playing on only the top 3 strings, using some kind of what do you call them nows? Double stops. Matt Barr. Thank you very much. You also asked a question in the Patreon, so seeing as you're here, let's have a look at that. Now, I think, what did you ask? So you were asking about double stops and applying them to the stones around and around. So I had a quick look at the song. Let me just pop this where I need it to be. Uncle Dan's Vintage Vinyl has just picked up a new lick. Brilliant. This is great. I'm having fun. And that's what matters. Right, okay, we're going to look at the Stones. This is a right tune. Let me just see if I can do my screen capture. Here they are. Dapper lads. Let's have a quick listen.
I said the joint was rocking. Going round and round, yeah, reeling and rocking, what a crazy sound. And they never stopped rocking till the moon went down. Well, it sounds so sweet, I had to take me a chance.
Brilliant, nice and bluesy. So like, we're starting off with that kind of Chuck Berry kind of. We're in A. We can play it open strings if we want. Oh, and going into this, I don't know if Keith was doing his weird tuning at this time, but I'm going to stick to what I know with my basic standard tuning, because I'm sure there's, yeah, he's got a funny tune. He's got like an open something with a string missing. I've not fully studied it. But anyway, that's your sort of intro verse. Oh, is it actually a cover? It's got to be a cover, isn't it? I don't know. Okay, let me see.
Reeling and a rocking, what a crazy sound, and they never stopped rocking till the moon went down. Well, it sounds so sweet, I had to take me a chance. Rose out of my seat, I just had to dance. Started moving my feet, oh, the clap of my hands. I said the joint was rocking.
Right, that's a fun little riff worth looking at. So obviously there's two guitars, but one of them's doing so we're playing around with some major notes, pentatonic notes. We're doing on the B string, we're doing a 5/7 on the B, and then up to the 5 on the E. And then we're gonna go to the 8th fret of the B string, which is the minus the flat 7 note. So it's giving you that feel, bluesy kind of sound. So if you're trying to play both of those parts at the same time, you're not going to get there in time unless you skip off the last note of the shutdown. And then to play the next part, you're going to want to move up to the 10th fret for the D. And it's the same little pattern there. A lot of these blues songs, once you've learnt the lick in one position, you just need to move it up with whatever the chord is. Here we go. Paul says Keith does a banjo tuning open G minus the low E string. And so Dan says that as well. But Matthew says this is before his open G phase. So there we go. I had an inkling he might have kept it normal. I say normal, but you know what I mean. Kept it standard before he turned into the Keith legend that he is now. Still with us. This one's for Keith. Right. Okay, let's get back to the song. There's a solo coming up. Now, here's a brilliant example of a really simple solo. It's one lick throughout the whole progression, and it just sounds amazing. Does it change a little bit? Let me just check. Yeah. I think it's doing a similar thing to what I was talking about with those, the minor shapes. So... I think I'm hearing that. Now I'm not sure if it's my ears playing tricks on me, but I think when it goes up to the D chord, I'm hearing a minor thing, maybe. And then back to the major, and just stays there. So that, again, it's very similar to the licks we were looking. I don't know if you watched the double stop licks video that I put out on Friday. but one of the licks was practically this. It was all based around that major E shape, and that's what maybe Keith is playing. Or I don't know if he was playing rhythm or lead. I bet someone will know that. Very cool. I just picked up, Uncle Dan says, I picked up one of my guitars tuned in open E, and it felt like the song would just fall straight out of that tuning. Yeah, nice. Yeah, when you tune your guitars different ways, magical things can happen. Like you end up playing things you wouldn't normally go for, and yeah, stuff just happens. I think it's really good practice to try different tunings. I've been trying to learn lap steel guitar, and that's a real I'm going for the C9 tuning. Yeah, it's a bit of a difficult one. Okay, this is when Keith was a lead guitarist. Excellent. This is great. We've got a Stones historian here. That's really cool. That's something I'm not. I wish I was more into. No, I am really interested in the history of like the musicians and stuff, but I'm really bad at retaining the information. So you can tell me something, and it'll go in one ear and out the other, and I'll forget the next week. It's like C6 tuning. Yeah. Yeah, with this channel, I'm practically learning a new song every week. And it's got to the point now, I've done about 4 years of it. So there'll be a tune that I've done that I don't even remember recording or learning or transcribing. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, that's Around and Around. What album was that on, Matthew? I could Google it, but I like asking an expert. Maybe it's time to do the competition. I've been gabbing away. Now again, it's a question about me. You're gonna have to guess what I've been up to again. And this is for the. Let's get rid of that video capture. Screen capture. Okay. X-Ray Cat Trio, Vince Ray print. Some of you might already have it. Thank you very much. Okay, so I was rehearsing yesterday for a very special gig, and it's in celebration of a life of an artist, a creative person. And you've got to guess who it is. I'm going to be playing at a show, and the whole night there is dedicated to this person. And I'm going to leave it at that. You got to guess who it was. I'm going to have to pop some clues in later on, I think, because that's so very vague. But whose life are we going to be celebrating in a couple of weeks' time? Right, Matthew says Rolling Stones 12x5 Killer Rave up on the 1977's Love You Live. There you go. So was it not on an album? I don't know. It says 5x5 1964. It's not Link Ray, Pin X. That's a very good guess because I love Link Ray. I've done a Link Ray live stream once during COVID. we learned a bunch of Link Ray tunes, and we used to just play them in the bar all the time. Obviously, it's not Dan Sartain. It's not somebody who died lately. They died. I think we're looking at like 60s. So, yeah, we're looking at kind of 60s era. I think I'll find any other clues without giving it away too much. Yeah. I'll drop some more hints. So what else were we going to talk about, guys? Oh, Jim, you asked for the end of Jackalope. So, okay, I've got another request for a part of a tune. This time, I'm afraid, it's X-Ray Cat Trio, which is my band. Elmo James. It's not Elmo James. It's not Carl Perkins. It's not Elvis. It's not Buddy Holly, but there was a connection. There was a very strange connection to this person. That might be quite a big clue if you know about the story. It's not Eddie Cochran. So, the end of Jackalope. The start of it is practically White Lightning. Here we are. I mean, that's pretty much a rip-off, but it's fine. I'm going to skip ahead. We've got some good guesses. Screamer Jay Hawkins, Big Bopper, Waylon Jennings, Gene Vincent, Richie Valens. No. Oh, you saw Buddy's Crash Site. Oh, wow. So I'm going to skip along to the end of this... Can't even remember how to play this bit. But the important part, this is what we're going to figure out. So basically, Jim, all we're doing here is we're in a key of A. So, and we're doing this kind of country, what would you call that? It's, oh, my brain is pathetic today. What do you call that? It's an interval. It's a major third inverted, I think. Yeah. So I've got my first finger on the 5th fret of the top E string. My middle finger's on the 6th fret of the G. I've got some tremolo on here. Let's see what I do. All it is, Jim, is I slide into that there, starting on the 5th fret, and then we slide up to the same notes but 12 frets higher, so we end up on 15th and 16th frets, and then I slide back and forth. Something like that. So if you're breaking it down, I'm just jumping between the root on the 5th fret going up to the, oh, not the 15th, the 17th. There. It's real basic, but it sounds kind of cool, I suppose. Yeah, okay, let's see if we've got any more guesses. Otis Redding, Hank Williams. Is it a man? It is a man. Patsy Cline. No, so it's a man and it's an Englishman. By the way, I know a lot of you guys are not in the UK, so well done for tuning in at the right time, because we've just had daylight savings today. I don't know if you guys have had that, but it means I've had even less sleep than usual. Bobby V, no. You're welcome, Jim. Let me go back to the questions and see if we've got any more cool questions. I think we're getting through them. Is Kerry with us today? Kerry asked a question, but I'll save it for when he's here maybe. It's not Brian Jones, that would be good. Vince Taylor, that's getting closer actually. It's not Vince Taylor. Oh, you switched over in early March. But even still, we didn't. So it's very confusing. What was the question? The question was, I'm celebrating the life of an artist, a creative person who died, and we've got to guess who it is. It's not Billy Fury. They're British. Did a lot of work in London. It's not Hank Marvin. If I give any more clues away, it's going to get a bit easier. It's not necessarily a musician. I mean, he was creating music, but he wasn't necessarily a singer or a player. Eddie Nielsen, no. Bowie, no. You're welcome. Thanks for watching, by the way, everybody. This might be quite difficult because I don't know how famous this guy is. Not in the UK, but he has left quite a library of work. Epstein, no, but I like your thinking. He was the manager of the Beatles, right? We're not talking Joe Meek. Kevin, you've got it. Kevin, no, Kevin, you've done it, my friend. Let me know where you're based, and find some way to let me know your address. So Kevin's got it. It's Joe Meek. So yeah, maybe I'll find the poster and tell you about the Joe Meek event. Meek. So it's going to be in Saltaire, which is just outside of Leeds. In fact, you're all invited. Saltaire Shakedown. Let me see. Oh, here we go. That's right, Kevin. How did you know that? Are you in the UK, Kevin? Because it's quite a niche thing. Okay, so it's on the 5th of April. I'm trying to find the poster. I can't find the poster. Basically, a bunch of guys in Saltaire have a band called the Razorbills, and they're like a really cool 60s surfy, garagey pop band. And Chris has organised this event. I'm gonna keep looking because he's done the poster and it's cool, obviously, because he's an artist. He's done work. Here it is. There's part of it. Okay, I'm gonna have to share the Joe Meek special. Here it is. Bradford, April the 5th. £10 entry. If you're in the UK, in the north of England, it'll be worth popping by. I think you get a badge as well. Where did I put my badges? Anyway, we've been learning songs. You'll know some of the tunes. I've done lessons for Night of the Vampire. And what was the other big one? There's a couple of big ones. There's a couple of not so big ones. Telstar. Anyway, he's known for his like weird production techniques, and he like used to record people in the bathroom and stuff like that. he produced tribute to Buddy Holly. The Moontrekkers, yeah, that was one of his bands. So like, yeah, there was a link there. I think he thought he could speak to the dead, and he thought he had a contact with Buddy Holly. He also thought, I think he recorded what he thought was a conversation in the graveyard with a cat. So he's a real interesting dude, and like real kind of troubled guy. He ended up shooting his landlady and himself. So yeah, he was a troubled guy, but very talented. There's been a film about him. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a British film. Came out about 20 years ago, I think. But yeah, there's a sort of still a core of fans, and like in the nicest possible way, Joe Meek nerds who collect all his music. It was quite hard to learn a lot of the tunes because, you know, with the old records, the speed is a little fast or slow. So there you go. So I think I've answered all the questions I was going to answer today. So I might leave you guys to it, and I'm going to finish my Bloody Mary. I might go outside because it's still beautiful here in Leeds, England. So thank you for coming out and hanging out. Oh yeah, and if you like Slackjaw, there should be a little code to get cheaper stuff. They got some nice stuff. Yeah, just have a great rest of your Sunday, and thank you very much for hanging out. So I'm going to see you all soon. And Screaming Lord Such, yes he did, we're doing a Screaming Lord Such tune. Right, see you later guys, thanks for hanging out.